Anil, so thanks a lot for joining today, right? So this is Culture Club, and we are on the second season where we are calling this sustaining and growing employee engagement, the evolving role of managers, right?
Yeah.
So Culture Club is the community by Culture Monkey. So the entire story is very interesting because what happened is, I felt the need that there should be a Culture Club because, I'll be honest to you today. When we started Culture Monkey, we were all engineers, right? And I was an engineer for more than a decade. So engineers don't really know about culture, engagement, all these people sciences, right? So I felt the need. So to talk about the entire story, right? So for me as an engineer, I was struggling with this problem, not having the ability to clearly articulate what was that. But wherever I went, I worked in multiple cities across the globe, and I saw that uh, employee happiness. That's what I called it in the early days. I felt it's employee happiness that is enabling employees to deliver their maximum. And this point of view, I wanted to share with my managers. I had multiple feedback sessions, but nothing moved, And I also was scared to open up with my managers because things were not anonymous. And even if I managed to communicate all these points to these managers, there was no action. All my feedback felt like almost went into a black hole. There was no closure. There was no traceability. So I lost hope on this process. And that's when, 2017, I came to Chennai, and I started a software consultancy. And, I started with Joseph. Joseph is the co-founder, and it's called FE. And whatever work we did, we were successful. Every project, every engineer we worked with, every customer, we saw 0% attrition, both from customers, from employees, from all the stakeholders. Everyone was happy. And that is when in 2018 we sat down. We said, hey, what are we doing? It's just a software. It's definitely not a vanilla software coding. We're doing something more. And that's when we realized this is culture. The way we are behaving, the way we are treating people, how we are conducting every day at FE was being the differentiator, right? So that's when, we felt at the same, that 2018 is when we also realized that a service company is hard to scale. We need to build a SaaS. And that's when, what else to build when we are very strong at culture. So we picked up, the SaaS culture software. And, we started 2018. Culture Monkey is when we started. 2018 is when we started. And now we have a lot of enterprise clients. And, it is so fulfilling right now because whatever problem I faced, now we are able to, solve it for 10,000 unique employees. And we also have 2.5 million individual data points, in just the last 3 years. And with all of this data, we realize that managers play a key role in engagement. And that's why we have a separate module for managers, even in Culture Monkey. But to, managers play that role to personalize engagement. And, out of which born this idea for this season of Culture Club, where we are talking about the evolving role of managers, and especially in times like this fresh times. Nobody's got the working solutions for all of these things. So, in this journey, the product has been awesome. But, like I started this story, that there is a very significant piece that we were missing, which is the people science, the HR methodologies, right? Which obviously is not in our DNA. So that's when I met Ketan like 2 years ago, and and then we were talking, and we already met like more than 20 CHROs in India.
Wow.
And I think, yeah, so I think we this is started as a very little project, the Culture Club. Now it's so so happy to have you on this session today. So yeah, this is, sorry if my story was operating as fragments here and there, but I think I'm always excited to share all the, also those to not miss any points. So this is where we are. So I think we are so happy to have you on this session today, Anil. Let's get started.
Hey, thanks, Anil. So the story was good. I'm sure Ketan will anyway start in a while, but I'm saying story and I think background is very good. And I'm seeing so interestingly how you moved a problem that you were facing to
Yes.
the relevant people, that is managers and HR.
Yes. Correct.
And putting something called uh, your
Yes.
platform called Culture Monkey is what is going to really enable these managers and HR to actually bring solutions and
Yes.
not sit on the problems. So a nice transition is what I heard in this process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, all the very
Thank you.
best.
Yes, and I think Anil, it is inevitable for anyone who is genuinely facing a problem. It is inevitable that they will pick it up and solve it. And then as a serendipitous effect, it will serve to a larger and impact a lot of people, right? So that is what there is no where I am able to claim credit. It's all happened automatically.
Yes, Chief.
Good. Thank you, Senthil, for that introduction. And for our audiences, we have a very special guest today. I have with us Anil Monteiro. He's the CHRO of an organization called Tecnotree Corporation. He's worked with brands like Dell, Plexion, Maersk, and Satyam over his 20 plus years of experience. He's also an alumnus of XLY Jamshedpur. The most interesting place and a point where I also had a conversation with him is he's a Gallup Strength Coach. And for those of you who don't know about Gallup Strength Coach, do read about it. Do take that assessment. It's one of the most powerful, fundamental things that I also believe in. And we and Anil had some conversation around that. So he's a Gallup Strength Coach. He's worked across countries, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and right now in India. He's very well known in the industry for his organization development and change management practices. How do I know Anil? I'm still knowing him, but one conversation a few days back, it moved from, and we had a particular agenda, but we finished that agenda and we were talking more about human potential, about coaching, about strength coaching. We were actually talking about the human side of people and what people function brings in. I don't know if that's from Anil's side, but there was a connect I was able to build. I don't think so. I had such a wonderful first time conversation with anybody, but that's the warmth that I got in the conversation. So Anil, welcome again to Culture Club's Masterclass powered by Culture Monkey, and thank you so much for your time. As Senthil said, this season we are talking about sustaining and growing employee engagement, the evolving role of manager. Now, before I shoot into the questions, could you tell us more about yourself and about your organization and about your journey? So that would be super amazing to hear.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks, Ketan. Thanks, Senthil. First and foremost, thanks for actually setting up a wonderful platform like this, which I see will be a lot of learning for many more aspiring people and many more people out there who are hungry to learn and hungry to grow. Thanks for this, and I feel very honored to be on this platform. Uh, my background. Yes, so I've had this opportunity. In fact, I always see that I'm a very fortunate guy. I'm very happy there because at a very early stage, I picked up the whole concept from my boss, who said, if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a coach, you know, you're like that dangling leaf that will just fall off anywhere. So you need to have, earlier the better. So as soon as you get somebody where you think somebody can help you show a direction, should be a good mentor for you. So I started off, at roles that we can have a lot of other conversation about. But yes, my mainstream HR, I picked up. I had my boss as my coach, and till date he's my guru, and he continued to teach me a lot of things. And one important thing that he always taught me is life is a race. Okay, as being a manager, I will go up and become the general manager. I'll become the director. I'll become the VP. I know my path is clear. If you don't eye my chair, you will lose the race. So you should always eye and have your eyes casted on your boss's chair, else you're off the race. I think that really went very well with me. And everywhere I went, I think I did aspire for all my boss's jobs, no doubt about it. And seen a lot of ups and downs. And very interesting is the current organization, Tecnotree, that I work for. A little about Tecnotree. We are a telecom product company. We have our products that we provide to our mobile service providers. The billing product is our core. We do the whole billing of a mobile service provider. And then a lot more adjoining products is what we have started creating. We had been through a lot of bad time, a downtime. And like Senthil said, when you're in troubled waters is when innovation comes your way and you tend to become innovative. So that's what this company, we've been a part of rebuilding the whole organization, recreating the whole organization from seeing the worst to what we are seeing the last, I would say, 8 to 10 quarters of absolute successful numbers that are going high, whether it's our top line, our bottom line, our revenues, our employee satisfaction. It's absolutely been going very, very well. And I think very, very true to what Senthil said, it's all about culture. So maybe I'll take a minute to explain what we did on the culture piece. I think every company has these massive hoardings and massive dashboards to say what your values are all about. Now you go back to employees and check, what's the meaning of that value? My sense, 9 out of the 10 will look at a dictionary explanation of that term. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 out of the 10 would probably give you some understanding. So what we did differently at Tecnotree is we said, when we are rebuilding our whole image, we are rebranding ourselves, we are rebranding our products, redoing our digital products. Let's also go back to employees who are our big stakeholders. And we did a massive, I would say, activity with the employees, where we went and asked our employees, what do you think is the company's strengths? And what are the areas you think the company has to get better with? And we did a similar exercise with the customers also, some key customers. It was so nice to see that the strengths that our employees spoke about and the strengths that our customers spoke about were absolutely the same, maybe with a little miss here and there. And the areas that we were talking about and the areas that customers spoke about were also similar. And that became the bedrock for us to create our values. So we created our values. We also then did is we defined behaviors for each value. For example, if I said winning, winning for you and winning for me is an absolute different term. But then in Tecnotree, if it's about winning, what are the behaviors I expect from you to make it a winning organization also got crafted. And this happened collectively as an organization with close to about 200 employees getting surveyed and 80 plus employees sitting in the whole, think tank. And today, 2 years down the lane, let me tell you, people exactly understand when I say winning, when I say futuristic, we say one Tecnotree for winning. F is futuristic, O is organized, R is result driven, W is winning, one Tecnotree for winning. And these are our 4 values. And what are the behaviors each one of them are expected, whether you're in Latin America, whether you're in the UAE, whether you're in India, Finland, we all resonate the same. So I think that was a massive exercise we did to actually create the culture of being one organization. And it definitely takes pride that, yes, as an organization, we were able to do it together. And that's where we are seeing as an organization, we are winning. And I think that's where the whole change management comes in play, where when we make changes, let's take our employees into confidence and build, our programs, our processes that are more employee driven and not always management driven.
That's inspirational. So nice to hear. In fact, for our audience, this is a book that I just finished. It's called What You Do Is Who You Are by Ben Horowitz. Amazing perspective on culture. A lot of things that you, Anil, just shared as a practice. I could now see the connect there about it's what we do is who we are. The posters and the walls talking about values, if they don't convert into something all of us, everybody understands in a similar way, and act upon it, it's very difficult to put that back. So thank you so much for that, Anil. It brings me to the first question about on this topic, which is sustaining and growing employee engagement, the evolving role of managers. Do you think that organizations without a manager could be a reality of the future? The why and the why not? You can take sides, absolutely. But just trying to get a perspective from you. That do you think this could be a possibility?
Okay, sure. So, and this is a very interesting thing, and I talk about it in my induction quite a few times. It's like having a burger without a patty. So I see managers play the most important role in an organization, and if they don't play it right, then the burger is absolutely useless. And I'm sure we'll never go to a Burger King or a McDonald's and say, just give me the bun and leave the patty away.
So they would be happy, but we would not be.
We would not be happy. So I truly believe, and I personally believe that managers do play the most important role in an organization because they have this whole responsibility of making sure the employees are taken care, they are growing within the organization, plus they're also driving the organizational's goals to success. And that's why I will try to find it very hard yet to see an organization that will run without managers. Yeah, probably a couple of years down the lane, if we say we have an organization run only by robots, then probably yes. But as long as we say we have organizations that are driven by humans, I think managers are required, and I believe they are always the game changers in any organization.
Powerful. So Anil is very clear that it's required, and they are a game changer. I loved that example that you gave about a burger without a patty. So that's for him. Organizations without manager. So another point, Anil, you have vast experience across geographies, across organization. There's something that I have experienced. Now, there's one set of the world which says engagement is mostly impacted by managers. And if you look at the Gallup, old statement said that 70% of the time people leave because of the managers. There's another school of thought which says it is supposed to be, say, HR's responsibility. Managers have a limited role to play. What's your point of view? Why do you think the world has stayed divided on this approach for quite some time? And what is your view in terms of roles that both of these play in the concept or something like an engagement at workplace?
Okay, so I'll step back for a moment, and I will always say the divide in this is because of the organization's direction. Okay, so as an organization, it's important what are we wanting to do and where are we wanting to go. Okay, if that clarity is missing, that's when the divide of saying whether engagement is HR's responsibility or engagement is manager's responsibility. So maybe I'll probably also kind of slightly move to the current context of startups. If the whole concept in the head of a startup is to say, I build a product, sell it, make a couple of millions and walk out, then it can be fine. Then it can be HR's responsibility.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But then if the startup, if the founders are saying, look, I'm going to make that change in the ecosystem, make that change through my product in the environment and the ecosystem I'm going to be around, that's where I see engagement becomes manager's responsibility, obviously supported by HR. So why it happens is, and I've definitely, like each one of us, like you and me, we've seen so many organizations. There are organizations who should start empowering managers and helping them understand that they are the most key players in this process. And that's the reason I go back to the burger patty story. Because if your manager does not believe that he's key and he's the game changer, then he will always wash out any people responsibility. He will say, training technology, mentoring technically, process-wise is my job. Anything with emotion has to be HR. Anything with policy process has to be HR. Then it's like a junk in, junk out situation. Yeah. So I believe, and I know that's always the attempt we put together, saying that manager has to have a lot more empowerment. Manager has to have a lot more liberty and authority over there to be able to manage his team. And I think that's where, I see organizations divided, because you'll have these large organizations that will say for everything there is a process set, whether you like it or no. And medium-sized, small-sized organizations have this agile ability to make every change possible on the run. So as long as our organizations quickly pick up this piece and say managers need to be empowered, I don't think the organization will be successful.
Very interesting. Wow. This is phenomenal. I think that example, yes, or the context that you gave, what I hear from Anil is the philosophy has to fit into the strategy and the direction of the organization. If the idea is a short term and an exit after you create a product, yes, then probably giving it to somebody who is supposed to be an expert makes sense. But in long term, in sustainable, in some building something bigger and something which is purpose driven, managers are an important role. And what I definitely, another takeaway for me is empowerment of manager. He's talked about how important it is to empower the manager because they are the face of the organization. In fact, it takes me back to when I just started my career, every time or many times when I would ask a question, somebody would come and say, management has decided this. And I used to wonder, who is this management? Is there an individual? And I realized with time that for me, management is my manager. There's nothing else. There's no management is otherwise not a structured body apart from some technical term where you say you're a part of a key management. But what was management for me? It was my manager. Otherwise, I used to hear that management has decided to do this. I wonder who is this management? And I approached that. And I realized it was my manager. So thank you, Anil.
This is exactly. I think if you put up another example, I think we face it at the appraisal time.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to giving a good hike and a promotion, it is the manager. I struggled for you. I worked for you. But then if it comes to a lower hike, this is management decision. Immediate difference, you see there. And I think, but yes, if you look at those organizations that have actually uplifted managers and given them that credibility and that positioning, I think that's where this problem really, gets, sorted out and, makes it a lot more sustainable organization.
Yes. And my 2 cents here, right? The answer that you gave, Anil sir, for the entire, using the examples of startups, because I am here in this product startups and seeing the community and the attitude of founders. So I'm able to completely relate to all the. It's as though Ketan asked, Ketan, we found a book and gave it to Anil. You read the answer. That's how it. Seriously, that's how it was. Like every word, and such clarity. Right, you're saying it. That's how I felt. That's why I was like, wow. Okay, now, and also your voice is strong. So there is a automatic authority to it. So I think I felt like, okay, now I have answers. No more, any kind of doubts in
no
this.
Doubts.
Yeah. So it's and I really admire how all the things that you're talking about is including employees in your. The equation, how the HRs and managers and employees, they're all working. There is an Italian phrase that says "il più nel uno." It simply means nothing is quite beautiful alone, right? It is. Absolutely. Everything is yes. Everything it's beautiful only as a whole, right? So and all the answers that you said, kept putting that phrase on my mind and. It's very relatable to this. So thanks a lot. I mean, a few more answers. I'm just keen.
Yeah, I think that's the little learning that we have. That's it.
Yes, super.
That's how we do. We learn, collaborate. I think it's so amazing to be in part of these sessions. So me and Senthil do our best not to miss them. I pick up a lot as an HR professional, as an individual. And we can probably have a list of things that we have gathered from these conversations, Anil. There's been so meaningful points that we have actually taken that back. Culture Monkey team has taken that back and built that in the product and the design philosophy. So this has been a very, and as Senthil said, we started this with like, okay, let's do it. But as we are going through this journey, the kind of confidence we are getting, the kind of knowledge we are getting to enhance the product. You know, we talk about listening from employees. This is literally listening for people who represent and who are the voice of employees. So powerful, all of them. Now that brings me to another question here, Anil. The entire workplaces have gone digital. I think at least wherever it could have happened. Now, do you think that there has been a huge or a significant shift or a shift at all in what employees or organizations expect from managers? Are you seeing a shift in what is expected out of managers with this entire remote working scenario and the world going completely boundaryless?
Definitely, yes. I think organizations' expectation, and I'm just generalizing it with no specific organization, but I think organizations' expectations on managers continue to be the same. Deliver on time. I think that piece has not changed. Or probably, the fear factor has been added saying your teams can be hit with corona, but still make sure you deliver on time. But I think from an employee perspective, we are actually seeing a great deal of change. Okay, great deal. So let me kind of give you an example. Now, we were talking about COVID and what's happening around COVID. So for us as an organization, it's been very important to understand who of our employees or their dependents are infected. Only for the reason, obviously two parts of it. One is the human part of it, the other is the business part of it. Let's talk about the human part of it to say, let us know who has been infected, whose probably family members are infected, so we can pitch in and help them at any point in time that is needed. Because I'm sure we have heard of Bangalore being in such a chaotic state, not getting beds, not getting oxygens, and so many other problems. So we rolled out a massive communication and we said, guys, let us know. Obviously, we rolled out a COVID leave policy and we said a special care program. We wanted to make sure we call it nice, not say COVID leave. So we said, let's have a special care, leave. And then we kind of rolled it out and we said, please let us know. And managers constantly keep talking in their meetings, in their catch-ups and say, guys, if you or your family have it, do let us know. But the stigma I think people are going through is, if I tell people in public, then I may still be an outcast. So earlier, from a stage where these employees would go to an HR and share this, now they are reaching up to their managers and sharing it. Massive shift. So now employees are actually looking up to their managers to help them, to support them. Maybe one, they're really in tough times, they need help, offer time off or something like that. Or maybe the other way, the employee is also worried about, the project's not going live. So the manager should start preparing himself to see where is backup coming in. So you see the shift. So the whole employee community today, is going back to the manager and saying, look, I am COVID positive. I can't tell you in a public forum in my meeting, though all the 8 people are my friends whom I work together, or my parents have COVID, my spouse has COVID. So now the manager who had no role to play in the past, who never got into this other than a cold, fever, cough, and say, chalo, take half a day time off, take one crocin, paracetamol types, is today having to hold an additional responsibility of how he guards this information, keeps confidentiality around it, works with HR, and also makes sure the environment is taken care. So from an employee perspective, whether it is COVID, whether it is family sickness, family's health, or even now I'm also seeing another shift where, because we're all behind screens and we have no clue, I don't even see 90% of people wanting to come on screen while working from home. So they are reaching out to their managers and actually now sharing their own career aspirations, which never happened in the past. So now they come back and say, look, I'm seeing I probably want to be a technical guy. So tell me, how is it that you can help me become a technical expert? So the managers now, I think, are still holding major responsibility, and employees are, going to the manager than the HR. So sometimes, we need to be worried in HR that our roles will need to change.
Yes, correct.
And we were looking at a very interesting conversation in the organization where we said we have scrum teams.
Yes.
So why shouldn't HR be part of the scrum?
Oh, wow.
Because in one side, the manager is going to be only focused on delivery, whereas the HR person then can start taking care of the human part of it, and collaborating with the manager to make sure both the human aspect and the delivery aspect is taken care together. And we at Tecnotree, we are working on that model, and things go well. By the end of the year, we should. So it's probably an elevation of a business partner concept.
No, I think I really I was working in Netherlands for a while, and I felt this as in the Scrum team. It's a startup, and I was feeling very absence of human side of things. I felt it so well, and it was all super robotic. And when I was able to superimpose what you just said on that team, and I was like, it suddenly put a smile. So I think beautiful. That'll be a great. Right now the Scrum team only has a Scrum master, some developers, and product owners. That's all. Scrum, there's nothing. So we need this. This is a great. This will be a great addition. Superb.
If there are managers who are listening to this program, and you spoke about that, the expectation of employees from their managers have changed and it's evolving. What are few things that you would ask or nudge the managers to learn new, and so that they are able to cope up well with this? Because the employees are expecting a change. Some managers may be ready, some may not. This may be new to them. Now, if there are few messages that you need to give to the managers of what more, how should they evolve, what would those 2-3 pointers be from your side?
Okay. First, and I think that's the most basic thing, is with the whole change that we're going through, managers should start understanding whether they want to become people managers or they want to be the technical specialists. That's, I think, the first step. Because going forward, you're going to see there that there will be people, I'm sure we have it today, but it's going to get a little more extreme, where people in the technical side will continue to push the technical agenda, which is fine, that's required. So people who are becoming managers and people managers need to have complete clarity that the role expectation is going to be far beyond delivery and deployments, product developments, or whatever we call it today. Okay, so I think empathy is where it starts first. And in our conversation, you spoke about it. Ability to listen, I think, is going to be the most important piece. While that's happening, I think and it is a conscious shift that these people managers should make, is every week or every alternative week, can I take that 1 hour or 30 minutes off my schedule and only talk to the person on non-office conversation? It could be a very simple thing like, how's your kid doing? What is the new thing that you are learning with your kid? How are you? What are the new things? I'm sure, let's agree, we all are having dual responsibilities. While we continue to deliver, I'm sure we put our hands in the garden somewhere. We are trying to do some things. I can't talk about many other things, but then yes, I'm sure we are all required to do that. So managers should now start, having that personal conversation and start making it more important. I think it's more about making the employee feel good than making the employee feel important. So if the employee feels good about having a manager that he can bank on for anything. I think that's the thing. Second thing, I think as an organization, and that's another area we are now going to be investing a lot, is a lot of training, a lot of simulation and a lot of simulation based training that we are looking at to help our managers upskill themselves in the whole concept of people management, because something that they were never able to do or that they never thought about doing, how can we start training them, helping them understand, and still give them an environment and a platform where they can learn all these things of managing people well and taking care of people well.
Now, do you think, and with the changes that you are suggesting or recommending for the managers, are you also seeing that this entire engagement piece in future would move towards more about personalization? Because that's what somewhere I'm hearing from you, that one thing that this COVID has done is people are speaking to their managers, and you're saying managers also need to take out time and connect at a human level, keep the work aside for a minute. Is that taking the entire piece of engagement towards personalization rather than one size fits all? What's your point of view, and how do you think organizations can enable their managers in a journey like this?
No, absolutely. And I think I picked up this thought a couple of months ago, obviously reading a few things, and we kind of made a small trial around it at the leadership level. Okay. In the past, when you gave a achievement certificate, when somebody achieves something, you give a certificate, it is signed up, and it's just a plain nice piece of paper, fancy words, and you give it in public. And today there's no public. Everything happens in a closed door with a video on, and 100, 500 people seeing that. So this was the leadership team, and the board said that I think you guys have done a good job as leaders. So something has to be done. Let's recognize the leaders. So we want to give them a certificate. So I started thinking about it, and I said, okay, certificate is fine. Then immediately sat with the marketing team and created a personalized trophy, which meant you have the CEO's photo, and exactly along with the CEO's photo, that leader's photo. So now when you give him a trophy, which has, a plaque that has his photo with the CEO photo, and 10 leaders out of which 5 or 6 or 7 getting it, everybody seeing a photo with the CEO. I'm telling you, the whole place gets elevated. And I could actually see that impact. And I said, yes, so it's very true to human. So going forward also, I think a lot of personalization is going to happen. And a little thing that we are doing from an HR perspective, and currently a practical thing that we are doing is the COVID. Now, there are employees, so we are maintaining a tracker at a crisis committee level where we say these are all my people infected. And so employees don't come to HR directly. Few come through the manager. And we fill up this particular sheet. And every morning, absolute role of a couple of identified young HR folks in the team. They have been identified and said, these 6 employees are your responsibility for the next 15 days. These 6 for you, these 6 for you. Morning 8:30, you pick up the phone, call everybody personally and check how they are doing, how they are feeling, how the company can help you, what can we do for you. It all happened because I was talking to I was actually talking to a prospective, he was a prospective candidate to join Tecnotree about 10 months ago. And for some reason, the role got, shut down. And then we said, it's not happening. And he became a friend. So he called me and he said, I was down 40 days with COVID. And to get me a paracetamol in Delhi, I had to get it from a friend who stayed 30 kilometers away.
Wow.
Terrible. So what we do is now we created this team. So we said it can be paracetamol, it can be a meal sometimes, it can be oxygen, it can be a bed, it can be anything. So this team every morning calls the employee. Generally, how are you doing? How's life? What's up? don't worry, this is your leave entitlement, take care of it. Your family is unwell, this is your leave entitlement, taken care, don't worry about it. And then in this conversation, any hiccup that is there, anywhere that there is a concern, is tracked and shared back with the manager. Now the manager takes this in his own style, he's guided. So now he talks to the employee. So that's the way we are talking about one part of personalization in this COVID times. Now think about it, a person who's down, the HR calls him, his own manager calls him. See the kind of energy that the person gets when he's completely down and there's no hope in many cases. So going forward, I think we should understand it that personalization, I think, is only the way out.
Thank you so much for that. And so good to hear. And I think one thing that Anil, you also said is empathy has come out in a very different form, and I think it feels nice. We've been all as a race dealing with something unprecedented, and the kind of help people are giving known people and unknown people is super amazing. So thank you so much for that.
One point I also wanted to add about the personalization, right? So we're talking about personalization from manager to leadership to employee level, right? But I felt in my experience that personalization is already existing from an employee to manager level. When I say this, it's not like something new that we have to create. In my first job in an MNC, I worked for an amazing project for the first 1.5 years. And then, I was performing very well, and they moved to another great project where it's a different manager, naturally. So I did not, we had some, because the new manager didn't like my style of things, the way I'm trying to deliver. So, and then after a year, I said, okay, it's time to depart from the company. I put down we had some conversations, and then I filed a resignation. And I filed resignation, and then somebody else is coming and talking to me. That is actually, I'll be very honest with you guys. That is when I first time know, there is this HR team who is, it's a very big company, right? It's very 200,000. So, and that is when, somebody else new is introducing himself, and then he's trying to retain me. I'm like, what is going on, right? So the personalization has already occurred within me, with my managers already, right? So it is from here to there, the employees to managers. But when managers, and like Anil rightly said, those personal conversations, right? I think Wembu from Zoho always talks about, I don't see there is a work life or professional personal. It's always one. Whoever is coming to the company is just one human being, right? So that is a very powerful thing, which is like, which is with our small team, I always do that. I always, whenever there is a crisis, first let's talk, what is going on, how is your life? You were saying that you're taking keyboard classes, our things there is, and then and then everything is somehow falling in place. So that's something, yes, so super points. Yes.
And as Anil said, these would continue till the time there are robots working in organizations.
Yes. So here is an advice for Senthil. Why we were even evaluating CultureMonkey was as another platform that we were looking at. While I can go and do some training and bring some mentoring, coaching, various platforms. I'm actually looking forward for this platform to also be another enabler where this personalization now becomes an habit.
Yes.
So being able to connect with employees, managers themselves, rather than waiting for an HR to do some survey and trying to understand the pulse, and by the time people find the pulse, the guy is dead today.
Yes.
So if you can have the managers quickly latch onto some platforms like this, and I think the pressure comes back to you, how you start building more algorithms in your system to make it manager ready.
Yes. So no, you have no idea. It's super. The algorithms are very well ready. So yeah, it's okay. So great. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
then I'm a little worried on the rapid fire now. There's already fire around me.
I saw Senthil was trying to help you by diverting my attention, and so about Culture Monkey. So I'm not going to budge here.
Okay.
This is the first one for you. So Anil, if not HR as a profession, what would you have chosen?
I started off my career in the F&B, in the hotel industry. So if not HR, probably I would have been in the hotel industry. Maybe somewhere up there. But yeah, food and beverage. So I was also a barman for a while.
Wow.
We will meet in person soon, Anil.
Yes. Hey, I'll also come. Please let me know.
Good. Second, between cooking, cleaning, and mopping during lockdown, which was easy?
Cleaning and mopping.
Not cooking.
Yeah, because if cooking went bad, then the whole family would be down.
Yes.
And you should never compete with. I don't compete with my wife, and if I have to tell her you are the best, that's the place she is best. So better allow her to do what she's best at. We will anyway manage the other part.
Yes.
I agree. Third one, what's your next personal or professional milestone or larger than life goal that you've been chasing, aspiring, and if you're comfortable sharing?
Part of it is I personally I'm here for the very fact that I believe my strengths are what got me here. So I've always created an environment to help people understand that strengths will take them anywhere. So yes, if that's an opportunity to switch off from the corporate side, I would probably get extensive in coaching and using strengths as a tool, because here I am an example of what it is.
Yes.
Awesome. Any book that you would recommend that had the maximum impact on you, to our audiences?
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. A book that's been always there, and I've become a fan of Robin. So every week, without hearing what he rolls out new, I don't feel my week is complete.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that was the second book that I read, and a year and a half back, I bumped into the 5 a.m. club, and I get up at 5 a.m. now. So it's been powerful.
Okay, just on the lighter side, I was always getting about 4:45, so 5 a.m. club did not really enthuse me. But yes, I did read the glimpse of it, and it's absolutely been a very powerful book.
Yeah.
Practically powerful.
Fifth one thing that you thank lockdown for?
Chance to be at home with family. Yeah. Else, I think I used to travel fairly a lot, and travel to a lot of scary countries, scary and beautiful countries for sure. But yeah, I think the lockdown has helped me because I spend time with family, and I also get time for my personal introspection a little more.
Powerful.
And gardening is something that I just picked up about a month ago. Something that I always thought we will do it later. So yeah, maybe a couple of weeks I should have some veggies and see if I can deliver them to you.
I'm sure Bangalore would be easy. Senthil, I'm not sure about Chennai.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going
Chennai, yeah. Bangalore for sure. I'll dunzo it.
I'll pass it on. I'll pass the flavor and all my experiences to Senthil. I think that's something I do. But thank you so much, Anil. We are at the closing of the session. It was phenomenal speaking to you. Thank you so much again for your time. Senthil, over to you.
Thank you. So thanks, Ketan. So Anil sir, I think this because we are talking about some of the personal things. So I was the whole time admiring the voice you had, which is like, I think, do you sing, or is it like, was it a natural voice?
Yeah, I do sing.
Yes, because I think
but we are known to be those bathroom singer type, or sing after a drink, but I still sing well. Okay.
Yes, I think, that's, when Ketan was asking, if not HR, what, I would be like rock star, right? So,
Rockstar.
lead in a rock star, in a rock band, right? So I think so I think there are many points you said, especially there are many points for our audiences to grab and make use of and, edify their lives, I should say. And for me, of course, for me too, there are a lot of points. And one of the points that you said, which, topped another point, which you said earlier, is this, you said that the strengths, playing their strengths, can take them to, this is something I very recently, like a year ago, I learned. And I was like, oh my God, I was chasing the wrong rabbit all along, right? So I think that is when that is the micro enlightenment I had. And that's something that when you also say, it reiterated. So I think starting from the points you made, where, I can you repeat that thing you said for Tecnotree, one vision for what was that?
It is one Tecnotree for winning.
For winning, yes. So starting from that point, I'd have to reiterate, the burger without patty, or also the points around where you said, if you want to make a couple million, you can outsource HR. Or if you want to stay back, longer haul, make an impact, propose a change to the ecosystem. And that is real meaning and purpose, right? For that, you need managers, even employees, everybody, involved in this movement, have to have be people. When Ketan started off the session by saying human side of people, that is a very, I don't know what is an oxymoron, or what do you mean? What are the other sides to people, right? So there's only, so I think, and then how you talked about employee feeling good is important than employee feeling important, right? So these points are going to be an extraordinary things to meditate on for all the people to understand, and what do you say, synthesize meanings out of all this and make use of in their lives. So thanks a lot for this. And I think we have a lot more sessions, lot more topics, lot more very interesting things coming on. So thanks a lot, Anil and Ketan. So great session. Have a great day ahead of you. Let's meet soon.
Sure. Hey, thank you very much, Senthil. Once again, as I said, absolute honor, pleasure to be on this platform, and anything that I can share has been helpful. I'm very happy, and definitely wish you all the very, very best for trying to change the manager's life, make it better, and as a result, make organizations better. So wish you good luck. And Ketan, great talking to you. I think you said it so right. Our first call was just a connect. I have no clue why, but I think we just connected very, very well. And yeah, we'll find more reasons to talk to each other.
Food, definitely one. Second, I'm going to order a burger today for sure. So, but I'll come and meet you, Anil. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.